Hi, it's Mariel, Mom and a Girl with Plans here on YouTube and Instagram. And I am a special guest today on the Kellofaplan channel. And we're going to be going over stamping, how to use the stamps in the Kellofaplan Birthday Bash box. And this box is available starting September 15th at 10 a.m. Central Time. So you definitely want to grab that. So we're just going to go over some basic stamp techniques and use these stamps in our planner. So let's get started. These stamps are layered stamps. So you'll notice that there is a larger flat piece and then kind of line art throughout. Now these are designed to be layered on top of each other, and they give it a kind of like elevated, fancy stamp look with making it very simple to use, which is perfect. So you'll notice that each one has like a background. So this darker one, this would be the background, and then this is the line art that goes with it. So they're all kind of right next to each other. We've got leaves, different florals, and a couple of phrases here. We've got celebrate every day and happy birthday. And again, you can use these in your planner. You can use them in your scrapbooking, making cards, pretty much anything with paper crafts. So these will be super useful, and just depending on the inks you choose, you can really change the look up. So we've got the stamps. It also comes with a stamp block, and this little acrylic block will hold the stamp, so they will basically cling to this block, and that's how you stamp them. I don't know if you remember back in the day, the stamps used to be like red, and they had like a giant wood block, which made it really hard to store. These are so easy to put in a drawer and have everything ready to go. Multiple stamps that take up hardly any space. All right, next up, you're gonna need an ink pad, and this one will be available on the Kellofaplan website for $9.99. It is sold separately. This stamp has all the colors that kind of match the box, as well as my favorite part about them is that you can actually pull these out and use the individual colors, which I think is great. So that's a fun way to use these. So let me, oops, put that back in. So we'll be using these stamp pads. Another thing to have handy is baby wipes. I love using baby wipes to clean my stamps, and you always want to clean them between colors and also before you store them. You're going to want to clean them off, and that way they'll last a really long time. Alrighty, so let's get started. We're just going to kind of do some basic stamping first, just to practice and kind of get our technique down before we put it in our planner. So we've got our stamp pad, our stamps here, and just peel one off. They're kind of clean, they cling onto this little backing. So I'm just gonna grab this one. And the way you can tell which is the side that goes onto the acrylic block is it's very flat. And you'll notice the other side kind of has some cutouts. That's the part that's gonna put the image onto the paper. So you want that one facing up. You'll also notice that your acrylic block has a grid on it. This is great to help you with placing your images, especially if you're using something like words like this happy birthday, to make sure that it's straight. You'd want to line it up on that line so that when you turn it over and stamp, it makes it easy. Another great thing about these stamps is they are clear, so you can really see where it is that you are putting your image. So just to give you an idea, you just put them on, they cling, they will stick right onto the stamp pad, and you're good to go. So we're gonna go ahead and ink this up. I am gonna let's grab the pink, why not? Now I think the first thing people wanna do is just start pressing or sliding and rubbing all the color on. And actually the way that you're gonna wanna put this on, I always call it tap tap. You're just gonna lightly tap the ink onto the stamp. We're not gonna like scrub it on, rub it. We're not going to push really hard. That's actually going to give you too much ink, and it will overrun on your edges, and you're not going to get as crisp of an image. So all we're doing, see, can you hear it? Is tap, 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 tap. So that's all. I'm just lightly tapping on to my image. See, we've got it on there. Don't worry about if it gets on the block. It will not touch. Only the elevated part of your stamp is what's going to be on the page. All right, and then you just hold it and press it down evenly. You're not going to want to press too hard. Again, if you mash it down, it's going to like flatten the edges and kind of smear your stamp. You don't want to rock it. That will not give you a crisp image. All you have to do is just put it down, press. You don't even have to press hard. Just kind of even pressure and lift, and you've got your image. It's that easy. It's that easy. So next up, I'm going to, let me wipe this one off. Got to wipe them off in between, and I'm going to now add the detail. Those are pretty just like that, and I actually created at the Kellofaplan birthday bash, I did create a background using all the background florals, just kind of like soft like that. So you don't have to put the line art on it, but it really adds so much detail to your floral, so it's fun. And honestly, there is, I guess officially there's a correct way, you know, to line this up on the floral. But you know, I had fun just kind of mixing them around. It also gave the flowers a different look, so it made it fun. Now I'm going to grab purple for my details. And again, same method, even though this one just has a little bit of raised parts on it. We are just going to tap, tap onto here. And some of these colors are harder to see on the stamp because it kind of looks like, well, did I even do anything? I promise you the ink is on there. So we just tap, tap, make sure I got all my corners there. And I'm just gonna put it right like this. Again, it doesn't have to be kind of perfect. Since these are watercolor flowers, I feel like it just gives it, you know, a soft look. And then we've got the layered detail. Again, super easy. Let's try another one just for fun and to get the hang of it. And you can really, you're gonna want your line art to be kind of a darker color than the image that you started with, right? Another fun thing to do, and we'll kind of have fun with this one, let me clean this off, is you can start to mix colors. Once you've mastered just stamping, you can kind of like mix the colors around and have fun. So let's do one of those. I'm gonna do, maybe let's try some yellow. Why not? So I'm gonna put this yellow down. We're just gonna tap, tap. And I've got that covered. This is one of the colors you can definitely see more. And then I'm gonna grab this orange, and I'm gonna kind of tap, tap around the edges. And all I'm doing, I'm just kind of giving it like a fun look. We're gonna kind of create almost like an ombre effect. So I'm gonna put this one and just press. I just realized I'm on a ink pad, and there. So now it's got like this kind of like almost multi-dimensional look. It's got the lighter color in the center and then the dark edges, and it looks, I don't know, just gives it like a new like kind of dimension to it. And it's so easy. Like, it looks like you created a little art masterpiece and all you did was, you know, tap, tap some colors on. All right, next we're gonna add the details to this one. And since this is a fresh pack, I might go ahead and just to make sure, I'm gonna clean this off. All right, so I think I'm gonna actually go with the orange. And we'll see if it shows up on my little variegated, is that what I'd call it? Image. Okay, so I've got the orange. I mean, you could even make it different and use black. I mean, you could do, the sky's the limit, right? So this one, I'm gonna put orange. Let's see how this works. Oh, that looks really pretty. So I think blending those two colors together kind of gave it some dimension. Made it really fun. Another great thing you can do with these, I'm gonna actually just use this same one here. Clean this off. You can even start to mix colors. So let me try that. This one I've already mixed up a bunch, so I'm gonna do this. You can like I'm gonna put pink on. Again, I'm just tapping, and I might mix it in with some orange. And this way we're kind of creating a custom color that's not really in our stamp pad. And I could add yellow. I could just mix it up. You just want to make sure that you're adding colors that will blend and are near each other on the color wheel. If you grab, let's say I did pink and green, if you grab colors kind of a little more opposite, you might start to get kind of a brown tone that's probably not what you're looking for. So I try to keep it near the same colors in the color wheel. Alrighty, let's take a look. So see, now I've got more of a hot coral color. So you can just have a lot of fun with these. Mix up colors. Don't be afraid. I mean, stamping is just, it's really easy and fun. And I love that it kind of gives you like a higher end, like, you know, watercolor look with these really pretty stamps without all the hassle. Now that we've got that down, when you are stamping in your planner, obviously you're going to want to use a Kellofaplan planner. The planner paper is thick, and that is one of the things that keeps it from bleeding through. Kellofaplan paper is it's 160 is it GSM? Yeah, GSM. So it won't bleed, and it's perfect for using other mediums on. So stamping is going to look great in our planner. So let's grab a page and give it a shot. Okay, this is one of the daily sheets from Kellofaplan, and I see this beautiful section right here that looks like it'd be perfect to put some floral clusters. So I want to add that to the corner here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my backgrounds. So let's grab some other sizes as well. We want to add maybe some of these little ones too. So let me do this and grab this little pair. And I think I've got these over here. So let's grab this one. And I might want to do some leaves and berries. Let's grab this. Why not? We are just gonna experiment and have fun. So I'm just pulling these. You don't have to pull them out before you do it. I'm only doing it because I don't want to forget to use them. Okay, so let's get started. I'm gonna start with a larger floral, and I'm going to, I think what I wanna do is kind of do another one of those layered ones with yellow and then orange on the edge. So I'm gonna go ahead and stamp this. I just loved the way that looked, and I just thought it was really pretty. So, and I mean, Kellofaplan, you know, Heather loves her yellow. So do I. So I want to make sure that I've got yellow on here. Okay. Make sure I've got those edges there. Keep them soft. Perfect. Okay. So I've got my like orange and yellow floral. Now, one of the tricks you can do also is I could put it right here, but I really like when layering, kind of like when you do with stickers and you let it overhang. So I'm going to use my paper so that I can kind of do that here. So I'm going to have it kind of hang off the edge, right like that. Okay, and we've got our image. Now let's say you stamp and you didn't set it down evenly and you have like a hole or something like that. One of the things that I like to do is either grab a Q-tip or a paintbrush, and you can just dip it into your ink and paint that in. So I think people are always worried like, oh no, I don't know how to stamp. It's gonna come out, you know, crazy and I'm gonna mess it up. You're not gonna mess it up. And if you do, or if you don't love that look, you don't want it to look like distressed and you want it to like be fully on there, just grab a Q-tip, grab your paintbrush. It's you know what? It's easy. It's not something you got to overthink about. All right, and this one, I'm gonna go ahead. You know what I think I'm gonna do for this? I think I'm gonna use black detailing just to kind of give it a little bit of a different vibe. Okay, I'm just using this one's a Dewdrop Memento. Really any black ink will work. Again, I'm tapping on here. Sometimes you might notice that your ink pad will, I guess like kind of like, see how it stayed yellow? That's not going to affect anything with your images. Going forward, you'll still be able to stamp. It's not a problem. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of put this right. I'm going to just do it right like this. Okay, and push and lift. Now, see, it kind of gives it a different look than the other one that we did. And I think that's what makes stamping so fun. All of these stamp images we're creating, depending on the color you use, yours is going to look completely different than somebody else's. Let's do another big floral here. Wait, yeah, this one. And I think I'm going to do it. Let's try this kind of variegated thing again. I'm going to do light pink and then maybe a dark pink around the edges. Or, I mean, you can even do it half and half. I could do light pink and purple. Let's do purple. Let's change it. Let's make it, let's go big, guys. Let's go big. So I'm going to put purple, maybe even on the bottom half. It doesn't have to be all the way around. It could be kind of like a two-tone. Let's see if this works. Why not? We're having fun, right? And you can overlap them. Okay, I'm gonna do that. This one's kind of facing down. I got all the pink is on there, but it kind of still gives like almost like a dusty color. Okay. And then I'm gonna want to add my little black outline details on my flower. I notice I say tap, 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 tap. As I'm doing it, I don't know. It's now become a habit. After I taught the class, I'm like tap, 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 tap. All right, I'm gonna have this one kind of go this way. And these, you know, again, since they're like a watercolor design, having the backgrounds and the actual florals kind of overlapping and they're not exactly, you know, perfect is what gives it kind of its beauty. All right, so we've got that. And then I'm going to use a smaller flower. I'm trying to think which color I want this one to be. Maybe this hot pink. Let's try that. Again, this one I'm going to wipe it. I always like to wipe them when they're fresh out of the package. Wait, did I put that? It's backwards. There we go. Wipe it when they're fresh out of the package. Okay, let's go for that hot pink. Tap. This is one of the ones you can really see when you put it on. I think the yellow and this hot pink are the ones that show up probably the most on the stamp pad. Well, green does too. And I might overlap it a little bit right here on the edges of these. Okay. And we've got our hot pink. It's so fun. I've really gotten into stamping and it's just so much fun. It's really, I don't know, almost like therapeutic. It's so relaxing and it's fun to create so many different looks with the same materials. I think that's the part that I love the most is you know, you can have this, you know, one stamp set and make so many different things with it. Now I want to add a fun leaf detail. I'm going to go with this one here first. And these are thinner with the stems. So again, you can kind of look, whoops. You can look and with your clear block and make sure you line it up. I don't know. I'm not as, I guess, perfect at it. I don't mind when you have this look like this. I think I'm trying to decide if I want to do the details black again to keep it consistent or if I want to try my leaves green and like with different shades of green. I'm not sure yet. I think I'm gonna put this one here. Okay, so I've got that. I think I'm gonna do these green. I don't know, I don't know. We'll give it a try. Let's just see what happens if I do it. Green on, like a green. I'll do the dark green. Kind of like a teal color almost. Okay. So if you are a perfectionist, you are going to want to like really look through here and try to line it up as close as possible. Or if you're like me, you're just gonna go for it. I say that. Most of the time I'm a perfectionist, but I try to go with the flow every once in a while, right? Okay, so we've got a pretty leaf there. And I do want to use this one as well. Let me see, which is the detail? This is the flat one. Okay, now this one I noticed had some berries. Now one thing you can do is when you're putting the ink on your stamp, you can like try to put, you know, a different color just on those dots. We can try that. I think I'm gonna make them purple. Let's give it a shot. So I'm just using this pointy edge and I'm like gonna come in here and tap the purple. It's kind of harder because it's a little bit harder to see the purple on here, but we are going for it. Which then means, because I did the details when I'm doing my green, I think I'm gonna use this leafy color, give it a bit of a difference, that we're gonna want to also make sure that we don't go over the purple part. So again, it's almost like you're drawing with the ink on your stamp. Okay, there we go. Let's try this. It may not be perfect, but I think it's gonna be cute. Alrighty, and I'm gonna put this one. Do I want it coming out? I might want it, let me turn it here. I think I want it like this. Okay. And lift, and there we go. We've got little, now see here, I did what I said, where it's not exactly perfect. Let me grab a paintbrush. This is not the best paintbrush, but it was what I had handy, so I'm just gonna grab it. I'm gonna try to just come in here and tap and paint it in. There. See? Easy, easy, easy. Okay, so now I will need to do the outline of that one and lift. It wasn't spot on, but I still think it looks cute. Okay, so next up, I think I want to add some florals, maybe a tiny little one somewhere up here. Now, one thing you can do, so let's say, for example, I don't want the flower to cover the word date here. One of the things you could do is use sticky notes. I use them all the time to kind of basically mask off where you're stamping so that it doesn't go on to other parts. So let's say you want it only to be in, let's say I only want it to be in this, let's make it this corner or the center one. I'm gonna do the center one. So I'm gonna put a sticky note there and I'm gonna put one here because I kind of want it to be like a little corner. And then when you stamp kind of here on our page, if you were, I'm gonna actually leave that there first because I want to add my details. Okay, let's do that. Alrighty, and then when you lift up, it's masked off. So that makes it fun whenever you're doing anything inside a box or anything like that, and you don't want it to go over onto the rest of the page. You can simply mask it off using some sticky notes or extra paper. I love sticky notes because they stay where you want them. And you can reuse them. You can use it again over here, wherever you want. So now I'm just gonna add additional details. Add some fun stickers to the mix so you can really customize, again, your planner, but you know, you can add stickers. I might even add a quote over here. Let's take a look. How about this one? You deserve a day full of celebration. And they're clear, so I can even layer it, but I did use black, so I'm not sure if that would, I think I'm not gonna do it too much. I'm just gonna have it go over the edges. Okay. There we go. That's better. Okay. And we can add some of the fun, there's so many fun stickers and these all coordinate perfectly with this page. So I'm actually gonna use, let's see, I'm gonna use this orange checklist because for me, I love a good checklist. So I always wanna make sure. I'm gonna add this to this little part, pop, make it pop. I love that all these stickers fit perfectly. Let's do maybe this green for right here. And for me, I'm gonna make this a highlight of the day, just kind of a place to write down something that happened special. There we go. Okay, so I've got that. And then I'm gonna add an additional leaf there. And then use the darker one. Perfect. There we go. Stamp that right on there. There we go. Let me add some more of these. This. I'm done with the boxes. The mask off here. I don't want to get it on my boxes. Another way you could do this is if you knew exactly where your box was going to be, you could like I guess you could pre-stamp it and then put it over it, but I didn't know I was going to add this. To it. There we go. That's fun. Okay, this I'm not standing directly over it, so it's not gonna be perfect, and that's okay. Ta-da! Alrighty. Now I've got cute little florals on there. I think all that's left is to add some titles. So I'm gonna go with important. And again, what I love about these pages is you can make them work for you and what you want to track for the day. So I always have my important, like must-do kind of things. And then I'm probably gonna have one that's specifically for work, my top work to-dos, right here. And let's see, I've got my section for highlighting, and I think I'm gonna put tomorrow for that last one, because let me find which color I want to use, because anything at the end of the day that did not officially make the cut is moving over. Actually, I'm gonna go with this so I can start my list for the next day. So these are things I'll need to do kind of in the future. There we go. And I think my sheet is ready to use. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you give stamping a try, and we'd love to see the things you create. So be sure to tag both me and Kellofaplan so that we can see all of your amazing work. Thanks again, and have an amazing week ahead.